Hey everyone, John Sally here again, and just before we take the next step on our self journey, I wanted to take a minute out and acknowledge all of those who took the time to watch my first video, in addition to the kind comments and support that you've given me over the past few days. To be perfectly honest, I did hesitate a minute or two before posting that video because I knew once that I did, I'd be committed. And commitment can be a scary proposition. It's a lot easier just to hide away within ourselves, isn't it? Keep our dreams and aspirations safely tucked underneath the surface, away from criticism and doubt. That way, when our dreams don't come to fruition, we don't get hurt, and we don't get embarrassed, and we don't get ridiculed. But you know what? Sadly, we also don't learn, and we don't grow, and we don't experience. Resigning ourselves to living a life, a mere shadow of what in our hearts we know is possible. And in that respect, I think Marianne Williamson was bang on with her now famous quote, "Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure." Isn't that true? I know I believe that, and I'm sure a lot of you out there believe that as well. So let's commit together right here and right now. Commit to setting our internal fears aside, and together we're going to see just how powerful you and I truly are. So let's take a walk. You know, there's an old saying in Mandarin Chinese that goes, "Yi Dao, Qi Dao." Loosely translated, it means where the mind goes, the energy follows. Now, think about that. Think about that for a minute. Where your thoughts go, your energy follows. Now ask yourself, what am I thinking about minute by minute, day by day, week after week? For most of us, we simply get caught up in the daily grind of making a living, paying the bills, feeding the kids, watching TV. We go through our lives on autopilot, never moving beyond our repetitious daily routines, believing there's no other way of living. We are unconscious to the fact that there is indeed another way of living a life of purpose, living a life of meaning. And this is exactly where the law of attraction comes into play. The designing of one's life, your life, of the events and the people and circumstances you wish to transpire in that life. But just before we move on and take this first step, let's get one thing out in the open here, because if you and I are really going to give intention and the law of attraction the go that it really deserves, I mean, really put it to test, like I said I would, well, that's going to require a suspension of some currently held beliefs on your and my part. Let me illustrate better a bit with a Zen proverb that I know. The skeptic says, "I'll believe it when I see it." The mystic says, "I'll see it when I believe it." So for the sake of this journey, let's take a leap of faith and assume that intention really does work, because belief is one of the most crucial steps in the process. Now, for those of you who may not be that familiar with intention or exactly what it is, well, it's a statement of clarity, a concise mental image of what you wish for in your life. Now, this image can take the form of the written word, visual stimuli like photos and videos, spoken affirmations and mantras, as well as meditations. Regardless of the methodology applied, the key is clarity. In my next video, I'm going to lay out exactly the intentions that I've made for my own life and get into more detail on the methods that I'm using to construct them. In this way, I'll be creating a yardstick, a well-defined gauge to answer the question that I first laid out. Does intention and the law of attraction really work? Until then, I thank you for taking the time to walk with me today, and I encourage you to subscribe and join me in this sojourn. Your comments are always welcome. In the meantime, perhaps you can give a little thought to what you would like to transpire in your life. You know, I can always use a little company on this journey. Peace and love.